told in public. We told them bitches in public. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So what I realized last week is Trippie Redd decided to release another version of Pegasus. The initial album was 20 tracks. So when I thought that I was never going to react to this album simply because there were more songs on it, I then realized that this album was also featuring Travis Barker. It was a collab album between the two. And I thought that was very interesting because if there's one thing that I really appreciate from Trippie Redd, even if I'm not always a fan of his music, is the uniqueness of his voice and kind of that rock / metal type of vibe that he always gave everyone when he first came out. Even though it took years, I'm glad to see he finally is embracing that side of his influence. And gotta say, I'm pretty excited for the album. Now, of course, for people who don't know, Travis Barker is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, drummers of all time, and he was also a part of the band Blink-182. So yeah, I'm expecting the instrumentals on this to be really good. So I already know that this album is really going to come down to whether or not Trippie Redd can perform at a high enough level for me to actually enjoy this genre, because for the most part, I'm not like a huge like rock metal guy. I don't dislike it. It's just not the genre that I tend to go to. I'm usually more of like hip hop R&B type of guy. So keep that in mind as we go through this album. So I'm going to try to stay open-minded while we are reacting to this album. I'm gonna try to give this album the respect it deserves, but I believe as long as I stay open-minded that everything will be all right. So let's not waste any more time. The first track is called Pill Breaker, featuring Black Bear and Machine Gun Kelly. This ain't starting off that well.
Checked up on my ex, still capping. What happened? Put you in the past, but the pain is everlasting.
So far, it's exactly what I expected. Whatever song Black Bear is connected to, I kind of already know the vibe, or at least where it's going to be headed. Black Bear is pretty much a mainstream artist at this point. He has a very niche way of approaching a song, so I kind of figured this was going to be this type of song. So not usually a big fan, but it doesn't sound bad in any way. I love the ending of that hook where their vocals really come together. It sounded really good. I think those stacked harmonies were great.
I'm hurting, this is not enough. I ate a Percocet for lunch.
Open-minded. I ate Percocet for lunch. I mean, I know the song's called Pill Breaker, but I thought we were going to try to have a little bit more nuance.
Told her I'll kill everybody you love just so that I can have you to myself.
Told her I'll kill everybody that you love so I could have you to myself. No. We have to stay open-minded. So that was the opening track, Pill Breaker. Trippie Redd didn't have much presence on that song. When he was on the track, it sounded good. I would have preferred him do a verse opposed to Machine Gun Kelly. We already got Black Bear on there. We don't need Machine Gun Kelly. So going into the next track, it's called Without You. That's nice. So the drum fills, the build up into that section, just the little details in the drumming also, just like the mixing on the drums are really nice. And then at first I thought the auto-tune on Trippie Redd's vocals were overbearing. I still think they could be tuned down a little bit, but when the hook comes in and the guitars really gear up and, you know, the whole hook is just exploding, I think Trippie Redd sounded good. I think this track sounds pretty good so far, so let's keep going. That elongated note by Trippie Redd and just the beat together, it sounds good. My only critique up to this point, what is he saying lyrically at this point? I wish that it was more of a fleshed out track. I don't think It's necessary for it to be a good track, but my personal preference, I would have wanted the lyrics to sound more like they were thought out, opposed to what could be a freestyle. Regardless, I'm still enjoying the song, so... Woo! Nice drum fill. I'm really enjoying the layers in the instrumental, whether it be the switch up in the groove with the drums near the end, or even on the bridge where they make the guitar 1 octave higher. You know, it just, the little changes make this track really come to life. What I will say is Trippie Redd wasn't really the star of the show for me. I think the instrumental is what really made that track. So, but it was a good one. So let's go into the next track. It's called Swimming. Oh my goodness. Once again, the guitars on this are amazing. I really enjoy the guitar melodies and just the drum grooves that are being chosen on every track so far. But once again, man, like, I really feel like Trippie Redd is the Achilles heel of these tracks. I wish there was more thought put into the lyrics that Trippie Redd is delivering, because it feels like this instrumental's potential is being wasted, not because the song is bad, but just because I feel like with a hook like Just Keep Swimming, there's so many different avenues you could go with the lyrics when it comes to the verse, and that could really make the hook come to life. And I don't feel like Trippie Redd is even attempting to do that. Ooh. Oh, that was, oh, that's nice. All right, so that was Swimming. I've pretty much said everything I wanted to say at this point. Instrumental was great. The switch ups are great. The bridge is great. The drums are great. My only gripe is just the writing at this point. Let's see if Trippie Redd can get it together, because I need that. Trippie, I need you. Let's go. Pause. Next track is called Female Shark. Open-minded. Look, this ain't it. Not for me. I didn't think the instrumental really did much for me either. I enjoyed, you know, the double claps that would come in every now and then, switching up the vibe. I like it. I like what you were trying to do, but I don't know. Maybe that one will grow on me, but right now. Next track is called Geronimo, featuring Chino Moreno. I'm excited for this one. Ooh. Woo. I think the mixing on this one is so good, especially with like Chino doing the main vocal, but it's like almost being buried by the instrumental, and then Trippie's just over the top of it doing a top line melody, and it's just, it sounds really good on this part. Ooh, nice switch up. You can't compare the vocals there, to be honest. With a track like this, Trippie did a good job, but Chino pulled the emotion out of the track. Like, just that one part had more emotion in it than all of the verses Trippie Redd was doing. In my opinion, I think there's something about the way the melody was being sung and like this soft, almost like a whisper, like, you know, way of singing it, and the mixing on his voice just really added to the overall vibe of the track. But that was Geronimo. That was great. That was great. Yeah, I'll be listening to that one over again for sure. So the next track is actually called SeaWorld. Ooh. My God, dude, Trippie's vocals on this one are insane. There are tracks on some of his other albums where he does that higher register of his voice where it gets super raspy and it's just really aggressive. But on this track, just hearing it over that rock production and these drums and these really nice guitars, it just matches so well. It's almost like this album should have came out a long time ago. Woo! So that was SeaWorld, also one of my favorite tracks. I just think vocally Trippie Redd really shined there, and I think the writing got a little bit better on that one too. Geronimo still has the best writing on the album, but SeaWorld, I actually quite liked it. I liked it. At first I thought him literally using SeaWorld as a metaphor for being underwater or being under distress or some type of anxiety level, as like you beg for this person to say that they love you back. It worked. Even the part where he's screaming shark bait in the background, which is kind of funny, but it works. So the next track is Red Sky with another Machine Gun Kelly feature. Hopefully MGK can impress me on this one, because I want to like his features. I want to like his music for sure. Already a great start. And I just want to say, I'm also paying attention to the drums, but it's like, I can only compliment Travis Barker on the drums for so long. I did not forget Travis Barker is working on this album as well. Ooh. This is good. It almost feels like Red Sky is a continuation of the storyline that was created on SeaWorld, because I feel like with SeaWorld, like I said, he was begging this person to love him, and then on Red Sky, it's almost like they said no, and he's saying, I was a fool for thinking that you could love me too, or somewhere along the lines of that. So it almost feels like it could be a continuation.
That I really need to get away. Some nights my mind has thoughts that I wish I could incinerate.
Okay, so I'll be honest. MGK sounded good on this one. He sounded good. The vocal delivery was a lot better. I don't think he veered off too far lyrically. I think he stayed to the point. And his verse was also very short, so it was hard for him to actually go somewhere else.
Your soul is no longer mine. You saw Lucifer and made contact.
Why did you have to do that? Open-minded. Regardless of that last part, I don't, it is what it is. I think it's still a good track. I would re-listen to that one for sure. One of my favorites. So let's go into the next one. It's called Megladon. Okay, that first half of the track, I just had to listen to it because I didn't have much to say. But Trippie sounds like the emotions coming through on this one. Not even the raspiness, really. It's just the way he's singing these long notes like he's been doing in previous songs. But with this one, with the slower tempo, I just feel like it comes through so much better on tracks like this, opposed to doing it on a track like Swimming. I just think this is your lane. I also think maybe somewhere along the album we should go with a different approach with, maybe go back to Geronimo, but instead of Chino doing the softer vocals, maybe let's hear if Trippie Redd can pull that off as well. That's kind of what I'm wondering right now, but let's go ahead and continue on.
And this time will be the last time I'm coming for you.
Right here. Okay, never mind. He started doing exactly what I was saying near the end of the track, like where he got rid of that upper register of his voice and he was just kind of singing and not trying to go for a gimmick at a certain point, even though I do quite enjoy the gimmick. I just wish, let me hold off on that opinion. We still have plenty of tracks to go, so he could still prove me wrong. So I liked that track. All of my gripes with all the previous tracks stand for this one as well, but let's go on to Save Yourself. Did this dude just burp in my ear? Open-minded. Could you imagine if life really was like Silent Hill? Like, really think about it. Could you survive? I know I can't. I can't deal with that shit. Imagine you go to the bathroom, right? And you walk in, you pee or you take your dump, or whatever, you wash your hands, and then you open the door and you are in Silent Hill out of nowhere. Imagine, would you survive, my dude? No, you wouldn't. Oh, that's a great change right there. I really appreciate the change in melody, that when he goes save yourself, that attempt to really build on the second half of the hook instead of just repeating it over and over again. Adding a little variation goes a long way. I really appreciate that. All right, so that was Save Yourself, one of my favorite tracks for sure. Whenever Trippie Redd gives me a decent performance, I already know the instrumental is pretty much going to do its job. Honestly, that is the strong suit of this album, is the consistency in the instrumentals. A few change-ups here and there with songs like Geronimo and SeaWorld and Megladon, changing up the vibe. But even on those more up-tempo tracks, the instrumentals still tend to shine. Let's go on to the next track. It's called Dreamer. This fucking meme. All right, so that was Dreamer. I wasn't really fucking with that one. I ain't gonna lie. The instrumental was a little basic on that one, I'm not gonna lie. And then the addition of the 808 really threw off the whole vibe of the song, in my opinion. You go 8 tracks without using one, and then out of nowhere you drop it. And then it's also more generic than the Pillbreaker track, which is crazy. I didn't know how that was possible. Let's go on to the next one. It's called It's Coming. Oh, wow. Okay, that lead into the hook where he starts to whisper and then the drums get super distorted in the background. That was really good. Oh, that was good. So that was It's Coming. I really enjoyed that song, but it's weird. I really don't like the approach with Trippie Redd's writing on that one, but the performance on the hook and the drum fills and just everything put together as a song sounded great. I can get over the lack of writing on this one simply because the performance on the hook was just out of this world by Trippie. I really enjoyed him just fully letting go. It just made for a way better track, in my opinion. So let's go on to the next one. It's called Leaders. Stop acting cool. We're not believers. Okay. I'm already enjoying the change of approach to this song. Sometimes I'm holding on, but I just can't get it up. Sometimes down. So good. Leaders is probably in my top 3 of favorite songs on this album so far. So good. See, more of that type of song on this, and it could have been way better, in my opinion. He really could have showed his versatility had more songs like that been on here. Next track is Frozen Ocean. I can't fucking talk. Did he say shark bait again? Open-minded. First of all, Travis, calm down. Relax. Travis, relax. I wasn't a huge fan of that track, but I just got to say Travis Barker did his thing at the end of that track on the drums. You're insane. Relax. Next track is Dead Desert, featuring Scarlord and Zillakami. I don't know. Ugh. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let me tell you something. You gotta be a different level of lit to have vocal delivery like that. It's impressive. For some reason, I feel the need to grab my Bible. Open-minded. I can't hear anything this nigga saying. Could you imagine being in a mosh pit and that song comes on? You'd be a victim. So that was the last track, called Dead Desert. That's a good way to go out, man. That's a good way to finish the album. I know I've said a lot of things about Trippie Redd's approach in a lot of these songs on this album, but I will say, for his first attempt at a rock album, it was a success. I think he proved that he had the versatility and at least the talent to approach this new genre in a way that sounded authentic, as far as I can see. I do have my gripes with some of the songwriting, and, you know, I think at the end of the day, Trippie Redd gave us something that we wanted the whole entire time, which was a rock album. I wanted to see Trippie Redd's vocals really shine and him just let go. Linking up with somebody like Travis Barker, it's a lot easier for me to take you seriously when you do it with such a legend in that genre. So I'm glad he took it seriously. I'm glad he ended up releasing this album. This is definitely something I wish was its own project that he released on the side, and I really wish he would have pushed this album a lot harder, because I don't think this is a deluxe album. I think this should be its own thing, and it should get the respect it deserves. But a lot of people will see the word deluxe and not even give it a chance, which is unfortunate, because I think this is better than Pegasus altogether, 2 times better than Pegasus in my opinion. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about it. If I had to give it a rating, I'd probably give it a solid 7 out of 10 in my opinion. I just think songwriting wise, there wasn't enough going on for a lot of those songs to really pull me in. But I do think a lot of those songs still had a great foundation in Travis Barker, and a lot of the instrumentals had great transitions between the hook, the verse, and great bridges. I loved some of the buildups in some of these songs, and the guitar melodies were great, and the mixing was great. There are a lot of great things about it, but at the end of the day, Trippie Redd, he contributed enough for it to be a good album, but it wasn't great simply because the writing didn't pull me in. Y'all let me know if that's fair. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. I still enjoyed it. I will definitely be adding some of these songs to my playlist. Subscribe for more videos. Definitely a lot of videos coming out. A lot of singles got dropped. A lot of albums that need to be reacted to. And also comment down below before you leave, what album should I react to in the future? But that's all I got for y'all. Remember, at the end of the day, enjoy the music while you can. Thanks for watching. Peace. Open-minded.